And we truly, truly appreciate your volunteerism. You take away from your families, you take away sometimes from the kids' sports, and we all know that volunteers are always doing something else. You're the ones who are serving on, your local church councils and Boy Scouts and coaching the kids' soccer and running to football games. So it's not just what you're doing for the town, but it's that you're taking that time away from everything else to volunteer for the town, and we truly do appreciate it. In a minute, I'm going to bring Rep. Paul Frost up, who is our hometown guy, to say a few words, and Town Manager Julie Jacobson will speak. And then we have certificates. We want to thank all our volunteers, but what we decided is every year we'll do this event, and we are going to recognize people who have reached a milestone. So it will be for 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, and I'll apologize in advance if you've served 17 years. We had to figure this out, so we did milestones. So in 3 years, we'll thank you for your 20 years, because we certainly hope that you'll continue to serve. So it's my pleasure to introduce State Representative Paul Frost.
Thank you, Doreen, and thank you to all the members of the Board of Selectmen, for Julie, and the entire community for having this event, and to honoring all of you, and to thank you for your service, your volunteerism to the town of Auburn. It truly makes a difference. Right now, for example, I'm supposed to be on the field coaching softball, and just ran off, changed my shoes, and ran up here, and I'm going to try to run down to catch the end of it. But I know when we're doing things, we'll say Auburn Fast Pitch Softball, how much it matters that volunteers matter. They make a difference. We couldn't run our organization without it, and I know you folks in this community would be far worse off. Would be worse off if we didn't have volunteers like you coming in and making a difference, whether it's in boards and commissions, whether it's helping out at the senior center, or preserving our history here in the community, or helping our public safety here in the town of Auburn. By you committing yourselves to our community, to Auburn, you truly, truly, truly are making a difference. And that's something you all can be proud of, and that's something this entire community can be proud of. And listen, we have a great town, and we're going great places, but and there are great people that are working for this community, but your volunteerism has taken us to other levels. And I think there's many other communities in the Commonwealth that certainly would be jealous of the kind of volunteerism and commitment that we have here in this town, in the town of Auburn, through all of you folks. So congratulations, God bless, and thank you so much for all you do for Auburn.
Next, I'm going to ask Town Manager Julie Jacobson to come up. As you know, with the recent charter changes, many of the appointments for the boards and commissions are town manager appointments, and she's made some great choices. Just look around in this room. So, Julie Jacobson.
Thank you. I always have to lift the microphone up. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you. I don't want to say too many words tonight other than thank you. We cannot do it without our volunteers, and the previous two speakers mentioned that, but we know in town government, Ed Kazanovich is here, our assistant town manager, who I want to point out, and our CFO, Bill Coyle, our DPW director, Darlene Coyle, our director of development and special services. You all make our jobs easier and possible. Without having volunteers, we couldn't accomplish what we're able to accomplish. And we know we rely on you a lot. We ask a lot of our volunteers. We have a lot of boards and commissions, as Doreen mentioned. We have regulatory commissions that absolutely have to be staffed. We have deadlines that have to be met. They have plans and projects they have to review. They have Mass General laws that guide what they do. They have to be there, and we need volunteers who are willing to put that time into those committees. Then we have the advisory committees. They're critical. I don't want to single anyone out this year, but just thinking of some of the committees and all the work that they did. You look at economic development, master plan, housing committee, We had the Elementary School Advisory Committee. Then on the flip side, the municipal side, we have schools. We have the school committee. We have the vocational school committee. And I want to make sure that we say the vocational school committee is part of our town. That school is our town. We are one of 10 members, and that is a school just like our Auburn school is. So their job is critical as well. And the other one I just want to mention, because they're putting this on, but it's the Board of Selectmen. They're volunteer also, and I want to thank them for putting this on for all of you, but want to make sure that we thank them for the countless hours that they put in to guiding this community and to meeting on a regular basis. Sometimes it's a thankless job. You all know that, whether you're appointed or elected. It's not always easy. Not everybody always likes the decision you made, but I feel that everybody in this room and everybody who does volunteer for the town, you're in it for the right reasons. You're in it to follow the laws, to follow the processes, and to do what's right for Auburn. It's not what's right that makes somebody feel good. It's what's right by the law and what's right based on the information you have. And that's what makes Auburn so blessed to have volunteers like you, because you do follow the regulations, you do follow the laws, and you're doing the best you can. And it's not always easy because we don't always have the resources to do it. So I'm just going to put in a plug for an event that we have. We try to do it every year with town council. We do, and many of you have been, we do hold an event where we give training to our board and commission members on open meeting law and Robert's rules and conflict of interest law. If you haven't been before, we generally hold it in November, early December. It's really good information to have. So while you're all here, I just want to mention it because we want to give you the tools that you need to be able to get your job done. And then last but not least, I want to thank both the current members who serve and all those who retired and got off boards and commissions or moved on to other areas, in some cases moved on to other communities. But we can't thank you enough. We do need your expertise. We need your logic. We need your reasonableness. And I think we're all very proud that we need your welcoming. Some of the homeowners or businesses that come to this community, the first people they meet are board and commission members. And if you make them feel welcome in Auburn, they'll have a good feeling about Auburn. And that's definitely happened with these boards and commissions. You've all done a tremendous job. And we, all of us, town administration, we thank you because you make our jobs easier. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So we're going to move on to the certificates. And I forgot to mention something earlier when I spoke. I just want to acknowledge former Selectwoman Denise Brotherton. Denise and I worked on the subcommittee when the Board of Selectmen, first talked about this recognition. And thankfully, when Denise decided not to run, Dan and Tristan stepped up and took over as subcommittee members for this to ensure that we got it done. So a lot of work has gone into this, but we really wanted to be sure that we showed our appreciation. So we are going to move on to the certificates. Now, everyone in the room won't get one tonight, as I said, because it is for milestones, but we're going to begin the certificates. Roberta Briggs. And Roberta is being recognized for her work on the Emergency Management Committee, but she also serves on many other committees, and she's also the state representative on the Housing Authority. So, Roberta, we truly appreciate your work. Thank you. Erickson. Thank you, Don. Don is our representative on the Bay Path School Committee, and he is a great liaison. He comes to many of the Selectmen's meetings to give us updates, and he's also an Auburn resident. We truly appreciate your volunteerism. Thank you. Oh, and he also went to Mary D. Stone and had classes in this very room. Mark Banal. Mark is our our representative on the WRTA, and I'll tell you, we couldn't have a better advocate for people with disabilities to serve on this committee. He serves on many others, but I actually have the privilege of attending some of these WRTA meetings, and he is such an unbelievable advocate for people with disabilities. He fights for them every night. We get calls when that back door hasn't been left open, so thank you, Mark, for everything you do.
Thank you.
Wayne Page. Wayne is being recognized for his work on the school committee, which he hits a milestone. But as many of you know, I mean, he has served on committees, I don't know, going back at least 20 years. I can't even begin to name them all, but he's also currently the chairman of he's an elected member of the Housing Authority. He's chairman of the Housing Authority, Veterans Commissions. He's worked on the parks. He worked on the Purple Heart. His heart is always in the right place, and we truly appreciate your work, Wayne. Okay. So, Bob Murray. Bob is also served on the School Buildings Committee, and as many of you know, it took a lot of years to build the schools that we have, and we had great people like Bob who just had a level head, who was able to get a message across and really brought people together for the same reason, for the end result is our new schools. But it's all about bringing people on boards who can bring people together, and you truly do that, so thank you. Thanks so much, Bob. Diane Spanos. So Diane is being recognized for her work on the Cultural Council, and if any of you have seen how they are such dedicated volunteers. They have the annual art show, which really allows local residents to showcase their art. They plan trips, they give out scholarships. It's really, if you don't know about the Cultural Council, please look it up and get some information, because they really are just quietly in the background doing great work and putting tons and tons of hours, so we truly appreciate that. Bob Platukis. So, if you know anything about wind farms, alternative energy, the first name you put it with is Bob Platukis. Bob has done yeoman's work to try to bring awareness to alternative energy in the town. He's worked in small groups and large groups because he really just wants to educate people on alternative energy and get something moving in this town. Bob, we truly appreciate all that you've done.
Thank you.
Norm LaFlash. So, if anyone knows Norm, of course he's a local mailman who does the, the food drive every year and is recognized for that. But I think I probably met Norm more than 20 years ago when he was working with the Youth Commission back then. He has done so much for the parks, for the youth groups, for youth education, for opportunities. He works with Auburn Youth and Family Service. If there's any youth group that has benefited from services, Norm has been involved. Norm, we truly appreciate that. Jack Haroyan. Okay. And when you come up, if you can just come to this side of the podium, because we have some cords here that are a little dangerous. while Jack's making his way up, he's another one, been in Auburn his whole life, volunteers for everything, but tonight he's being recognized for his work on the Bay Path School Committee. And another one, he's willing to travel to, it's a big district, he goes to the different school committees to update them, boards of selectmen to update them. He advocates for Auburn and their students and the dollars. You know, Bay Path is our school. It's not just a school in town. It's Auburn. It's Auburn's high school, and Jack makes sure that no one forgets that. So Jack, even when you're not feeling well, you get to these meetings. We're so appreciative of that. So thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Paul Koski. Paul is being recognized for his long-time service on the planning board as well as the school buildings committee. And again, Paul was chairman of the school buildings committee for a long time, and like I said earlier, the school buildings committee did yeoman's work in bringing this community together for the same message and an understanding of what our needs were. He had a way with words that many others couldn't get through. So we have these beautiful schools again, and many of the decisions that Paul made on the planning board were tough decisions, but he understood it was a regulatory board. He understood the law. He knew what they could do and what they couldn't do. Sometimes it's tough when you have residents standing in front of you and they want you to do something different, but you have to follow the law, like the town manager said, and Paul always did that. So Paul, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And Louise Downie. Louise is another one that sits quietly at the Conservation Commission meetings. She knows the law inside and out. Again, she has people before her who maybe want to do things they shouldn't, or have neighbors who have concerns. They listen to the neighbors' concerns. When Louise speaks at a meeting, she has something important to say, so make sure you're listening. Because how many years on the... 18 years on the Conservation Commission, and just doing great work. So, Louise, thank you so much. That is it for the certificates for right now. If anyone else comes in who we have available, a certificate for tonight, we will come back up here. But again, this room is filled with the most amazing volunteers. We truly appreciate it. We appreciate your taking the time to let us thank you. So enjoy some refreshments and say hello to everyone. Thanks so much.